And that's what a lot of these shit coins and, you know, a lot of people get caught in that trope, right? Which is like, oh, Bitcoin is slow, Bitcoin is simple, Bitcoin is that. Well, there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin values decentralization above all, right? And in order to be decentralized, it needs to be a certain way, right? And simple is actually a good thing. This is Samson Mao, and this is a video by Adam Back. Shout out Adam, really awesome guy. And just to read the tweet, the guy that Satoshi cited in the Bitcoin white paper, whose work much of Bitcoin was built on, cannot think of ways to improve upon Bitcoin's design. How could the fiat economists that got us into this mess even remotely have the slightest clue? So yeah, really cool video. Before I play it,
There's something unusual about Bitcoin. So in 2013, I spent, about 4 months of all my spare time trying to find any way to appreciably improve Bitcoin across, scalability, decentralization, privacy, fungibility, making it easier for people to mine on smaller devices, get more anonymous coins, like a bunch of kind of metrics sort of that I consider to be metrics of improvement. And so I looked at lots of different, changing parameters, changing design, changing network, changing cryptography. And, I came up with lots of different ideas, some of which have been formally proposed by other people since. But basically, to my surprise, it seemed that almost anything you did that arguably improved it in one way made it worse in multiple other ways. So it made it more complicated, used more bandwidth, made some other aspect of the system just objectively worse. And so I came to think about it that Bitcoin kind of exists in a narrow pocket of design space. I mean, the design space of all possible designs is an enormous search space, right? And counterintuitively, it seems like you can't really significantly improve it. And so that without, and bear in mind, I come from a background of I have a PhD in distributed systems, and I spent most of my career working on sort of large-scale internet systems for startups and big companies and security protocols and things. So I feel like I have a reasonable chance, if anybody does, of incrementally improving something of this nature. And basically, I gave it a shot and concluded, wow, there's literally basically nothing. Everything you do makes it worse, which was not what I was expecting. I was like, great, let's, improve the privacy, improve the fungibility, make it more easier to mine on small devices, make it so that you can participate in mining.
So, yeah, I mean, look, this is something, obviously Adam has, more of a skill set to come to that conclusion. But us plebs, right? We've been saying that for a long time, right? And that's what a lot of these shit coins and, a lot of people get caught in that trope, right? Which is like, oh, Bitcoin is slow, Bitcoin is simple, Bitcoin is that. Well, there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin values decentralization above all, right? And in order to be decentralized, it needs to be a certain way, right? And simple is actually a good thing, right? When it comes to design. So, and there you go. You have, someone who cited, someone who Satoshi cited in the Bitcoin white paper, literally saying it himself, right? And I don't know, man. It just kind of confirms what we're saying. I know that a lot of people getting into the space, you're just completely ignore me and you're going to go down the shitcoin, path, and so be it. But hopefully when you wreck yourself eventually and that humbles you a little bit, you'll come back and you'll understand what it is I'm talking about.